In this episode, we continue our journey on the Belmond Andean Explorer from Cusco to Puno and visit the Euros people of the Reed Islands on Lake Titicaca. A warm welcome at Cusco train station as we prepare to board the Belmond Andean Explorer on the latest part of our grand tour of South America. This beautiful train would take us south to Puno on a journey scheduled to take around 10.5 hours, passing more of Peru's stunning Andes mountain range en route. But first, a welcoming drink from our hosts, and then some toe-tapping entertainment to get us in the mood for our luxury train adventure. After loading our overnight bags, it was time to say goodbye to Cusco and begin our discovery of new lands and settings. The opening part of our journey is dominated by mountains and countryside, which stretch as far as the eye can see. Towering rocks and deep valleys and the rippling waters of the Raqch'i River pass us by. The Belmond Andean Explorer is the only luxury sleeper train in South America. It also takes you through some of the most beautiful parts of the country, winding a path through small villages and towns with views you could only imagine. The Andean mountain range are the longest continental range in the world and extend through 7 countries. The section we will be going through are known as the Central Andes. Part of the trip also sees us pass over the Altiplano, which is Spanish for high plain. The bulk of the area lies in Bolivia, but the northern part covers Peru. It was now time for lunch, as afterwards we would once again be treated to another archaeological site. One hidden away for many years, but now coming to prominence as another must-visit place along the Inka Trail. At a height of 3,480 metres above sea level, the complex consists of several different areas, each designed with a specific function. The most prominent structure, however, is the Temple of Raqch'i. The Inka site at Raqch'i was a primary control point on a road system that originated in Cusco and expanded as the Incan Empire grew. It's located in a valley known for sacred sites. No one can truly know how or what the buildings scattered around the site were used for, whether it was for an administrative centre, religious or even defensive grounds of the Incan armies. It could have potentially held troops which would fit in with the idea of its overall size. Storehouses called kulkas can also be found, and on the nearby hills you'll see the trademark terraces of the Incan civilization. According to Inca mythology, Viracocha came to the region the Inca called Cacha. Locals did not recognize him, so he apparently brought down fire from the sky and burned the hills around. The people went to Viracocha and pleaded forgiveness. They also built a shrine to give offerings. The fires diminished, and when the Incan Capac heard the story, a miracle was claimed, and he ordered the temple to be built. Raqch'i and the Temple of Viracocha are still around today, and it gives another fascinating insight into the history of the Incan people. Time then to board the train again and continue along the single track, discussing our thoughts and points of our tour, and along with meeting fellow guests who were also aboard the train, enjoying a drink from the bar or watching the stunning scenery from the observation car. Our next stop would be Puno. It was time to get some well-earned rest. The following morning, we were treated to a beautiful sunrise from the shore of Lake Titicaca. We took a short walk to the pier before jumping aboard our boat to take us to the famous Reed Islands. Lake Titicaca has many floating islands inhabited by the Euros people, an indigenous section of society made up mainly of people from Peru and Bolivia. The islands are made from totora reeds, which also make their boats. Each step on an island sinks about 2 to 4 inches depending on the density of the ground underfoot. As the reeds dry, they break up more and more as they are walked upon, so when moisture gets to it, it starts to rot and a new layer has to be added, which makes maintenance a real chore but crucial to survival. Food is cooked in a pottery stove, and these are placed on flat stones to prevent the flammable reed islands from catching fire.
Guys, just finishing this island now. This is a floating island, so we need something to avoid, the flotation, the movement. So every island shows, for example,
Around 2,000 descendants of the Euros people were known to be on the islands in 1997. Today, however, only a few hundred still live there, with most now having moved to the mainland. Ill health and better living conditions are proving too much of a lure for some. For those that do remain, a lifestyle that is hard awaits. Younger children go to school on one of the islands, but teenagers and older students will attend school on the mainland, often in nearby Puno. One major income is that of the tourist trade, and each year many thousands of visitors will take a tour of the islands, and this helps supplement their hunting and fishing. They run craft stalls and barter tutorial reads on the mainland in Puno to get other foods and potentially medicines they may need. The purpose of the island settlements was originally defensive, and if a threat arose, the floating islands could be moved. Today, though, they remain in place to welcome along the next set of tourists. Now, these people are brave, some may say foolish, but traditions and lifestyles continue. And whatever lies ahead for the people of these islands, we wish them all well, and maybe, just maybe, a return to the mainland one day is not that far away. Our hotel for this part of the journey was something very special. We were on board the luxurious Belmond Andean Explorer, an unforgettable experience that starts in Cusco and took us all the way to Puno and the beautiful Lake Titicaca. The train has been created with luxury and style in mind, providing passengers every comfort and attention to detail you could wish for. It's truly a first-class trip. Service is unrivaled on the train, from fine dining to specially prepared cocktails and more. Relax in one of the gorgeous rail cars or visit the wonderful open-air observation car to catch the incredible sights and sounds of this Andean tour. There is a selection of board arrangements on the train. Now, these range from bunk beds to twin, and you can also have a double bed suite. All are fitted with a bathroom which incorporates a wash basin and shower. You can only take overnight luggage on the train as space is limited. So for an unforgettable part of your tour, we highly recommend taking the Belmond Andean Explorer train. It will leave you with many happy memories. Coming up next time on our South American adventure, we take a drive around Lake Titicaca and then head over the border into Bolivia.